What is up, guys? So I just finished rereading The Odyssey, translated by Emily Wilson, who is the first female to translate my favorite story into English. The first woman in history to translate The Odyssey into English. Very cool. And the translation is awesome. But I'm not going to review The Odyssey because we all know The Odyssey. What I am going to talk about, though, is that as I was reading this book, reading this story again, my second time rereading The Odyssey, I realized what is missing about in all of these modern reinterpretations, these retellings that are so popular that you find in Walmart and Target. What is missing that can be found in the original text? And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Muses don't rise and sing praises of the gods. So rereading the Odyssey really made me realize how important the story was to the ancient world. And that's what's missing in the modern retellings, is that we focus on the drama and the action and the romance and the love, but we're missing the heart of what the myths were about, and that's teaching lessons and spiritual lessons that were important to people then and tell us things now. Rituals of how to give offerings to the dead, offerings to pray to the gods, washing your hands. And in the Odyssey, a really big part of the story is hospitality. They talk about how Zeus is the god that watches over and sees how people treat strangers and the homeless. And things like that you miss whenever you read these retellings without ever reading the original stories. We must look after him. All foreigners and beggars come from Zeus, and any act of kindness is a blessing. Make him get up and seat him on the silver chair, and order wine to be poured, so we may make libations to Zeus the Thunder Lord, who loves the needy. The house girl ought to bring the stranger food out of the storeroom. Washing your hands whenever you have rituals, first offering to the gods when you eat, even having little things about funeral rites and how to pray and offer to the dead. And dig a hole a cubit wide and long, and round it pour libations for the dead. First honey mix, then sweet wine, and then third of water. Sprinkle barley and beseech the spirits of the dead. Another interesting thing I caught on that I never noticed before is the part in the story where Telemachus wasn't able to sense Athena, but Odysseus was. So that kind of is a lesson to us, with people who do rituals to the gods and they say they can never see or feel anything while others seem to be able to. It just is even back then saying how people had different experiences with the gods. At that, the swineherd tied his sandals on and started off towards the town. Athena noticed him leaving from the yard and stood beside him as a woman, tall and skillful and beautiful. Odysseus could see her, standing beside the entrance to the cottage. Telemachus could not. The gods are not equally visible to everyone. The one thing that stood out to me this time reading the book was how the leaders of Phaeacia prayed and poured libations to Hermes before they went to bed at night. It was a nightly ritual, and I thought that was really interesting and something that I wanted to start doing after reading. I was like, huh. He found the lordly leaders of Phaeacia pouring drink offerings for sharp-eyed Hermes, to whom they gave libations before bed. And the moral of the story is that it's valuable to go back and read these stories, these translations of the Odyssey and your favorite myths, because you get the subtext in the history and the idea of what these people believed, because a lot of what people believed back then came from Homer and Hesiod. So it's very important to read the stories. They're entertaining, and also you can see when you reread them that they are spiritual lessons that you get for your everyday life as a Hellenic polytheist. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video and are having a good day. Get out, go see the sun, go enjoy nature, even though it's hot and sticky. It's a beautiful day to get out. And I will see you guys later. Bye.